Everything that happens in your life is your responsibility, even failure. Tired of blaming circumstances? It's time to take full ownership. The difference between winners and losers? Winners own their mistakes, losers run from them. True leadership starts with confronting yourself before anyone else. No excuses, no justifications, no blame, only total responsibility. As long as you blame others, you won't move forward a single step. Do you have the courage to own your failures? That's where real leadership begins. Discipline is your only freedom to escape chaos. Life won't change until you stop saying, "It's not my fault." If you want to succeed, you have no choice but to own everything. From the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko, Willink, and Leif Babin, you will learn everything you need to become a responsible and mature person. Have you ever found yourself saying, "It's not my fault"? Maybe at work, someone else dropped the ball. Maybe in your relationship, the other person didn't listen or didn't try hard enough. Or maybe life just threw something at you that felt unfair, out of your hands. We all do it. It's human to look for reasons outside ourselves when things go wrong. But here's the truth. Those reasons don't solve the problem. There's a concept called extreme ownership. It sounds intense because it is, but it's also freeing. It means you take full responsibility for everything in your world. No excuses, no blame. Even when something goes wrong and it wasn't directly your fault, you still ask, "What could I have done better?" This idea comes from the battlefield, literally. In the chaos of combat, blaming someone else doesn't fix anything. If a mission fails, the leader doesn't get to say, "Well, the team didn't follow orders." The leader owns it completely. And that mindset saves lives. But here's the powerful part. It also saves careers. It saves marriages. It saves your sense of direction when life gets hard. In one passage from the book, they put it simply: the leader must own everything in his or her world. There is no one else to blame. Think about that. It's not about guilt, it's about power. Because when you blame others, you give away control. But when you take ownership, you take the wheel. Let's bring this back to daily life. If your boss didn't explain the assignment clearly, own the fact that you didn't ask better questions. If your partner keeps getting distant, own your role in the communication gap. If your health is declining, own your daily choices, even if they were shaped by stress or other people. Here's the key takeaway. You don't have to control everything, but you must own your response to everything. Extreme ownership is not about being perfect. It's about being honest with yourself first. No one can grow without first admitting there's something to grow from. So start here. Whenever something goes wrong, don't ask, "Who's to blame?" Ask, "What could I have done differently?" That's where real strength begins. Extreme ownership is the decision to take full responsibility for your actions and your outcomes without blaming others. It's not about fault, it's about power. When you own your part, you gain the ability to change your situation. Start by asking, "What could I have done better?" and lead your life with that mindset. If you feel you're benefiting from this video, support the content by liking and subscribing to the Life Rise channel so videos like this one continue to appear for you. Before you can lead anyone else, your team, your family, your partner, you have to lead yourself. That sounds simple, but it's the hardest kind of leadership. Because when no one is watching, when no one is checking on you, what do you choose? Do you hit snooze? Do you skip the workout? Do you avoid the hard conversation because it's uncomfortable? The truth is, you can't lead others if you can't first lead yourself. Leadership isn't about a title or position. It starts in the mirror, and it starts with discipline. Discipline means doing the hard things because they matter, not because you feel like it. It means waking up early, sticking to your plan, and keeping your space and your mind in order. It means taking care of your body, your habits, your thoughts, because chaos inside becomes chaos outside. On the battlefield, discipline is the difference between life and death. In everyday life, it's the difference between progress and frustration. But discipline alone isn't enough. You also need humility. In leadership, there's a concept called the dichotomy of leadership. It means you have to hold two truths at once. You need to be confident, but not arrogant. You need to make decisions, but still be open to feedback. You need to lead, but also be willing to listen and learn. One of the biggest killers of growth is ego. When your ego says, "I know best," or "it's not my fault," or "that's just how I am," you stop improving. But when you're humble enough to say, "I can do better," you open the door to real change. Here's what you can do today. Start a discipline routine. Wake up a little earlier. Write down your goals for the day. Stick to one promise you make to yourself, just one, and build from there. Track your time for a week. See where it's really going. You'll be surprised what you can improve just by noticing. Ask for feedback from a colleague, a friend, or your partner. Write it down. Sit with it. Act on one piece of it. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intention. And the first step? Own your habits. Own your mindset. Own the way you show up every single day. Before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. That means discipline in your daily habits and humility in your mindset. Ego blocks growth, but honest feedback and small, consistent actions unlock it. Create structure in your life, welcome accountability, and own your personal development because no one else can do it for you. Once you've learned to lead yourself, the next challenge is leading others. And this is where many people struggle, not because they don't care, but because they think leadership means controlling everything. It doesn't. Leadership is about clarity, it's about trust, and it's about making hard calls when it matters. In the chaos of combat, confusion gets people killed. That's why Navy SEALs are trained to simplify the mission. They call it prioritize and execute. When everything feels like a crisis, you step back, you breathe, you figure out what needs to happen first, and you do that. Then you move to the next thing, and the next. The same applies to your work, your home, your relationships. Most people get overwhelmed not because life is too hard, but because they're trying to do everything at once without a clear plan. Simplify the mission, make the next step clear, then take it. Another core principle in leadership is decentralized command. That means trusting your team to make decisions within their area of responsibility. You don't micromanage, you don't hoard control. If you're always the bottleneck, everything falls apart when you're not around. But if you empower others and give them clarity, they rise. They take ownership because you trust them to. That trust is earned over time, but there's a shortcut. Take the blame, give the credit. When things go wrong, own it publicly. When things go right, share the spotlight, or better yet, step out of it. People follow leaders they trust, and trust is built when you take responsibility and show humility. So, how do you apply this in daily life? At work, communicate clearly. Don't assume people just get it. Spell out the mission, define roles, ask questions to make sure everyone is aligned. In relationships, remove ambiguity.
Say what you need. Ask what they need. Don't expect people to read your mind. Delegate effectively. Give someone a task, trust them with it, but follow up. Trust doesn't mean disappearing. It means staying involved without taking over. Leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating space where answers can rise. And it starts with clear goals, decisive actions, and a culture of trust. Leading others starts with clarity. Simplify the mission, prioritize what matters, and communicate it clearly. Trust your team to step up by giving them responsibility and space to lead. Own the blame when things go wrong and give credit when they go right. Leadership isn't about control. It's about empowering others through clear direction, consistent follow-through, and trust built by action.
There's a mindset that could change everything for you. It's simple, but powerful. No bad teams, only bad leaders. At first, this may sound harsh. Maybe you've worked with teams that seem hopeless. Maybe you've been in situations where failure felt inevitable, where everyone was pointing fingers and the pressure was crushing. But here's the truth. If a team fails, it's a leadership problem. The leader is the one who sets the tone. The leader is the one who keeps the mission alive, even when everything seems to fall apart. The leader is the one who builds resilience when the storm is raging. And when the team falters, the leader is the one who steps up, not to blame, but to fix. Think about this. When things aren't going well, most people want to vent. They want to complain, to talk about why they're stuck or why they've been treated unfairly. But what good does that do? It doesn't solve anything. What fixes problems is a leader who focuses on solutions, not complaints. This is where the SEALs excelled. In the heat of battle, they couldn't afford to sit around blaming anyone. When things went wrong, they would ask, "What can we do to fix this?" No excuses, just action. If the mission was failing, it wasn't about pointing to the enemy or bad weather or poor equipment. It was about the leader asking, "How can I lead my team better right now? What do I need to change?" That mindset doesn't just apply to combat. It applies to your job, your personal life, your growth. If you feel stuck, ask yourself, what can I do differently? Here's your takeaway. Reframe challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I do to solve this?" Take ownership of setbacks. If you're frustrated with your team or your results, ask, "What am I not doing that I could be doing better?" Simulate stress. If you want to build resilience, you have to practice it. Create challenges that push you, whether it's tight deadlines, difficult conversations, or physical challenges. Get comfortable with pressure. So when real obstacles come, you don't crumble. Pressure creates diamonds, but only if you face it with the right mindset. So the next time things get tough, don't ask, "Why is this happening?" Ask, "How can I fix it?" Because leadership isn't about avoiding problems. It's about owning them and finding a way through. We've covered a lot so far. How to take ownership, how to lead yourself, how to guide a team through chaos. But here's the thing. Extreme ownership is not a one-time fix. It's a lifelong commitment. If you want to be truly successful, you have to accept that growth never stops. The work isn't done when you hit a goal or fix a problem. It's only just beginning. One of the most powerful tools Navy SEALs use to constantly improve is something called the after-action review. After every mission, no matter the outcome, they sit down and review it. What went well? What could have been better? What do they need to adjust next time? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about learning. Every time you fall short, every time things don't go as planned, it's an opportunity to learn, grow, and refine your leadership. Now, you can apply this in your own life. After a big project at work or after a difficult conversation, take a moment to reflect. What did I do well?
What could I have done better? Write it down. Learn from it. Act on it. This doesn't stop with work either. Extreme ownership applies in your relationships too. If there's tension or conflict with your partner, friend, or family member, take ownership. Don't wait for the other person to apologize first. Own your part of the conflict. Listen, be vulnerable. Apologize when needed. That's how trust is built. The legacy of leadership is not just about the big moments, it's about the small ones too. It's about being consistent in your actions, owning your mistakes, and striving to be better every single day. And when you do this, you lead by example. You set a standard for those around you, whether it's at work, in your family, or with friends. That's how you build something that lasts. So let's bring this all together. Extreme ownership is about taking responsibility for everything in your life. It's about having the courage to say, I will own this, even when things go wrong. It's about leading yourself with discipline, humility, and self-reflection. It's about trusting your team, simplifying your mission, and owning the outcomes. And it's about continuously improving, no matter how much you've already accomplished. The moment you stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and start taking ownership, you begin to unlock real power. The power to lead, the power to change, the power to build something meaningful. So ask yourself today, what can I own? Take responsibility for your actions, own your results, lead with discipline and integrity. That's how success is built. That's how greatness is achieved. And the best part? It's in your hands. Extreme ownership isn't a one-time fix, it's a lifelong practice. Continuously reflect, learn, and apply what you've learned to keep growing. Take ownership of your mistakes and successes in your work and relationships. Leadership is about consistency, humility, and striving to be better every day. If you want to lead, own it, because that's where true success starts.
You've just learned what it really means to take ownership of your life. But here's the truth. If you want to lead, grow, and build real connection, you also need to understand the people around you, especially women. In the next video, you'll discover how the female brain works, not based on opinion, but science. It's a game changer for how you communicate, relate, and lead. Don't miss it. Click now, because growth isn't just about you, it's about understanding others too.